What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Finally got to see the movie because it just dropped on HBO Max earlier today. And overall, man, I love the movie, man. I had an absolute blast watching the film, man. And before we jump right into the review itself, I wanted to quickly talk about Godzilla Minus One. Since you guys know, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I finally got around to watching it once it was added to Netflix, man. I did end up doing a review for it because I just didn't really feel like it. And you guys know I have to change. I had to change my setup because my computer isn't working anymore, so I have to get it fixed. And so I was like, what else? I was like, do I really need to go through all the extra effort I would have to do to make that review? I was just like, nah, I'll skip it. I'll skip it, man. I'll just talk about when I review Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. That's what I'll talk about, Godzilla Minus One, which leads us here, man. And honestly, man, that movie was also fucking incredible, man. Like, that was such an incredible film, man. I love the CGI in that movie, except for a Japanese production, because if you watch all like anime as much as I do, man, you guys know that Japan's still kind of, behind the eight ball compared to like Pixar and Disney and a lot of other American studios for some reason for their anime, stuff, man. Besides, of course, something like The Loop on the first movie, man, that movie looks absolutely incredible. Easily the best looking CGI film that's come out of Japan, man. The CGI in the movie looks absolutely incredible, but everything else, man, the CGI, it looks fine, man. Most people just complain about CGI just to complain about it, but like, yeah, it's definitely not rivaling the likes of Disney or Pixar. In terms of Disney, Japan is still a ways away from doing that. But I will say, man, the CGI movie looks amazing. I loved Godzilla's design in that film. I love what they did with his atomic breath, like with his scales or spikes coming out there, then coming down, man. It looked absolutely amazing. I love what the characters in that film, man. They were such rich and well developed, man. I love the messages that movie does, that movie, and the themes of that movie, the message it has, and the themes it delves into, especially in the commentary it kind of gives about Japanese society. From my very limited, experience and knowledge of it, man, I thought that was really interesting, especially in the time period that's when it takes place in post World War II. It's a fantastic film. Now, to answer the question, I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking, which one did I like more, Godzilla Minus One or Kong, or Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire? And I'm probably gonna get crucified for this, but it's the New Empire, man, because while I am glad that both versions of Godzilla are able to coexist now and run concurrently with each other, like if you're someone that prefers your more character-driven, slower drama films where Godzilla is more meant to be an allegory, or the movies are more about the about Japan and post-World War II and the nuclear and and everything that happened with the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the atomic bombs, all that jazz from the original film Shin Godzilla, of course this one, I'm glad that those movies exist, but also the people that much prefer Godzilla when it's just kaijus fighting each other with dudes in rubber suits. I am the guy that prefers the kaiju battles, me personally, but I'm glad both of them exist, and I love both versions of Godzilla, even though I actually haven't seen any Japanese Godzilla films besides Minus One. I still haven't seen Shin Godzilla yet, and I haven't seen the original Godzilla film either, but I'm glad both versions of Godzilla do exist, and they're able to run concurrent with one another, and I think that's awesome. But yes, I prefer Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, because I prefer the kaiju Godzilla, the kaiju fights of Godzilla compared to the drama Godzilla. That's just my personal opinion, man. They're both amazing, but I prefer the New Empire in my personal opinion. Although I will say, obviously, the human characters in Minus One are way better than the New Empire's human characters. Although, honestly, guys, I've never really minded them. Like, I know it's one complaint I've heard with the Godzilla, with the legendary MonsterVerse films, is that they don't like the human characters and whatnot, man. But I personally never minded them. They've never bothered me. They've never ruined any of the films for me personally in my viewing experience of them. I thought they were fine, but I also kind of liked them in this movie, man. I thought what they did with them, except the mother and the daughter, man, I thought was pretty cool. I like what they did with them. But yeah, anyway, enough me rambling. Let's get right into the film itself, man. So the movie is directed by Adam Wingard and stars Kayla Hoadley, I don't know how you pronounce that last name, Rebecca Hall, Dan Stevenson, Nicola Crissa, Enza Gonzalez, if I pronounce that right, Brian Tariq Henry, and many more. And the plot of The New Empire is that Godzilla and the almighty Kong face a colossal threat hidden deep within the planet, challenging their very existence and the survival of the human race. First off, I gotta say, man, the CGI in this film is absolutely spectacular, man. The fights are incredible, man. I love the fights, they're so awesome. awesome, man. Especially once King Kong gets his like mech goblet thing, man. Like that's fucking awesome, man. The CGI just in general thought looked amazing. The fur on King Kong looked amazing. Godzilla looked amazing. I love the shade of pink they've now changed his color to, man. It looks amazing on him, man. Really like that, man. And I was also shocked with how expressive Kong was as women. Like, you can tell a lot of what he's thinking just by looking at his face, man. I don't know if they did any motion capture or facial capture for him in this film, man, or if all this was just hand animated by some probably poorly paid and overworked animator at Warner Brothers or whoever that did the CGI for this film, man. Or like I said, this was done via facial capture, motion capture for Kong. Either way, man, it looked amazing, man. I was also kind of surprised at how expressive he was in the film. Very reminiscent to the modern Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes films. So yeah, that was pretty cool, man. That was kind of surprising. The other thing that was kind of surprising in the film was the cinematography. Well, this isn't a film I'm going to be declaring this should get nominated for best cinematography at next year's Oscars or whatever. But honestly, man, the cinematography was actually really good. Like, I was shocked for when that's 90% made in a computer. I was shocked at how well it looked, how good it looked. Like, there's some really nice shots in this film, man. Some really beautiful shots. There's some really, I love the colors they use for this one. The colors are very bright and vibrant. I love some of the colors they use for certain shots, man. And there are some really nice, beautiful looking shots in this film, man, surprisingly. Like, I was really impressed with how well this movie looked, man. Especially for a movie that was, like I said, was made, that 90% of it was made in computer, man. So that was also a pleasant surprise as well. Was just how well done it was. The movie's also surprisingly gory. Like you just straight up see Kong just like ripping monsters and apes in like half, man. Which was really, so I was like, God damn! Like, I was shocked at how gory the film is. And probably the only reason they can get away with this in a PG-13 film is because the blood isn't red. So that's why they get away with it. But like, I was like, God damn! Like, that was awesome, man. Like, I wish there was more gore in the film, awesome, man, because it was fucking awesome the times we did get to see it. Another thing I also really enjoyed was the human characters, like I mentioned before. Like I mentioned before, I love the mother and the daughter relationship between them, man. I thought it was really well done, and I love the way that it was handled, and I thought what they did with their characters, man, was really cool. And also, the villain for this film is fucking awesome. The Scar King, man, this dude got one badass entrance, man. He comes in the film, man, like he's the baddest motherfucker out there, man, and it's fucking awesome, man. He was cool, man. I don't know if he has any pre-existing lore within the Godzilla mythos, based from like some previous King Kong movies, or if he's a completely original character for the MonsterVerse for this film. But either way, man, I thought he was cool. I loved his entrance, man. Like I said, he comes in like he's one bad motherfucker, and he was awesome, man. I like what they did with him, and I thought it was cool. We also get to see another kaiju from Godzilla's, from Godzilla's mythos in the movie, and that also makes an appearance, man. Just like Mechagodzilla and Godzilla vs. Kong, which y'all know I was so hyped for that. We were so like, yo, Mechagodzilla's in the movie, bro. That set the movie off. That's the reason I gave it a 10, was because of Mechagodzilla, man. Because Mechagodzilla is my favorite Godzilla villain, because I just think he's cool. It's Godzilla, but he's a robot. What's not to like about that? So another famous one of his models comes in there in this film, man, and they're awesome. I really like the design they went with for this character. I don't want to get into spoilers for obvious reasons, but that was cool. It was a nice surprise to see that in there, and they looked amazing. I really like the design they went for that kaiju. And like I mentioned before, I've never really minded the human characters in this film, man. Like I mentioned before, I thought what they did with certain of them, with like the mother and the daughter sort of thing. I'm forgetting the character's name. I'm forgetting the character's name, but I thought the relationship they had, I thought they were pretty cool. I like what they did with that relationship, man, following up from Godzilla vs. Kong. And I like their dynamic. I like what they did with those two characters throughout the film, man. I like that. So, now as far as negatives of the film, man, is that in this movie we do learn more about the little girl's heritage and like her tribe and everything, man, and where she comes from and everything. And the stuff we see with them is pretty cool, but I kind of wish we got more about them and more backstory on this tribe and like how they operate, how they work, and like give more of the idiosyncrasies or whatever of their tribe, and just more backstory on them, which we don't really get, man. I would have liked to see we got some more, because I thought they were pretty interesting. I liked them. I thought they were cool, and it was kind of interesting to see what the different things that this culture does, and like what they were doing inside Hollow Earth and everything, man. I thought they were cool, and I wish we got some more expansion about them, and and just like, more about their culture and everything, because I just thought they were really cool. But yeah, that's about everything I got for you guys today on my long-winded review on Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire / Godzilla -1, kinda. But yeah, man, this was a fantastic film, man. I had a blast watching it, man. If you've liked the previous MonsterVerse films, man, you'll love this one as well, man. And yeah, whatever the next Godzilla X Kong movie's gonna be, I'm gonna be there. I would say day one, but I wasn't there day one for this film either. So I'll watch it and I'll review it for you guys. But anyway, guys, overall, I'm gonna give this movie a 9.5 out of 10, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. You like your video, subscribe if you're new. Follow me so you feel like it. Links across below. And as always, come out for more. See you guys next time.